Pakistan's Air Force reportedly lost several fighter jets and nearly one-fifth of its infrastructure in India's strikes at military bases across Pakistan. Now, official sources said that the strikes in retaliation for Pakistani attempts to hit Indian military installations and civilian areas targeted major ammunition depots and air bases such as Sargodha, Bhulari, where F-16 and J-17 fighter aircraft of the Pakistani Air Force were stationed. As per sources, the strikes led to the destruction of nearly 20% of Pakistan's Air Force infrastructure, major damage, and several fighter aircraft. India's counter-strike was massive, as is clear by these figures coming out now, targeting key Pakistani air bases including Noor Khan, which is near Islamabad, Rahim Yar Khan, Bhulari, Jacobabad, Skardu and Sargodha. Now, these bases suffered extensive damage, as has been made clear by the images that have come out. It's confirmed by satellite images released by the Indian military, and now satellite images released by Maxar Technologies on your screens as of now corroborate what Indian armed forces are saying. The damage to Pakistani military facilities have been devastating after cross-border strikes from India last week, and these were precision strikes, as is clear. India has also briefed foreign service attaches of 70 countries on the successful conduct of Operation Sindoor. Lieutenant General D.S. Rana, Director General Defence Intelligence Agency, elaborated on the planning process for selection of targets with confirmed terror linkages. He also highlighted the integrated, precise and prompt response by the Indian Armed Forces to achieve its military objectives under Operation Sindoor, which is only paused as of now. All right, for more on this, our Assistant Director for Foreign Affairs, Siddhant Sibal, is joining us live on the phone line. Siddhant, let me quickly go over the latest press briefing which took place in the US. The US has now been questioned about these alleged, suspected nuclear leaks which are perhaps taking place in Pakistan. Give us your thoughts on how the US responded and moved past that question.
Well, essentially, we know that there are a lot of social media chatter, and India and US have now both reacted to this social media chatter. First, let me talk about the American reaction, which was a no-comment reaction, basically saying that they have nothing to say about it. The Indian side, both the Indian Ministry of External Affairs and the Defense Ministry have reacted. We saw the now very viral comment of the Indian Defense Ministry, where the defense official said that they had no idea that it housed the nuclear weapons of Pakistan, and essentially saying that they haven't done so. The the Ministry of External Affairs, the Foreign Ministry also reacted in similar manner. But one needs to also understand the context of the things as well. In 1988, both India and Pakistan signed an agreement on exchanging nuclear information. That basically says that on every 1st of January, they exchange the information regarding the nuclear installations, and under that agreement also they have agreed not to attack each other's nuclear facilities. Now, this is an agreement that continues to be abided by both India and Pakistan. There hasn't been any known case of India or Pakistan violating that. It is a social media chatter. In fact, I have seen some reports from Pakistan as well, where they have dismissed any radiation leaks coming. So all in all, it looks like it is a figment of imagination, and there is no such development of India striking nuclear facilities, or India trying to, of course, trying to attack them in any ways. But one thing is for sure, that India has made it clear. The Indian Prime Minister has twice in last 48 hours has said that any nuclear blackmail will not be accepted from Pakistan, and he has basically said that this is something that is now part of the Pakistan policy of India. Of course, we have seen Pakistan doing a lot of nuclear saber rattling, including the Pakistani ambassador to Russia and the defense minister, both mentioning at one point that they have the nuclear capabilities. What is astonishing is that there hasn't been any global condemnation or any condemnation by experts, the so-called experts from the West, regarding that.
Rightly said, Siddhant. Also, in that same press briefing taking place in the US, the state press briefing, the State Department was asked about the differing tones between what led to that ceasefire. Trump has been saying it was the US which got the two sides to talk. India has not mentioned any role of the US in any of the statements that have come so far. And in the recent press briefing at Ministry of External Affairs, they made it clear that there were no trade talks leading to anything. No trade talks took place anywhere between 7th of May and the 10th of May till the time the DGMOs had that call at 15:35. Give us your thoughts on how the US is responding to that question in that press briefing.
Well, essentially, first, I would like to give a context by what is the Indian position. India has dismissed, and this is on record dismissal on the U.S. side. The U.S. administration, Donald Trump, saying that he has the role in terms of trade, in terms of providing a solution in Kashmir, and in terms of mediation as well. On all three counts, the Indian side has dismissed. On trade, India has been very public about it, saying that there were conversations, but trade was not mentioned. On mediation, the Indian side has said that it was Pakistani DGMO that called, and it was the strength of the Indian forces that led to the Pakistani side basically surrendering. And of course, on the aspect of solution as well, India has reiterated the Shimla Pact that this is a bilateral issue. Now, in terms of in Pakistan's response, we haven't seen much response, but the US, of course, has been claiming that it was responsible. We saw the briefing earlier. There was a direct question as well. The US side, of course, trying to deflect, saying that they're happy with the ceasefire and how the US President Donald Trump is a deal maker and a peacemaker. But we also need to understand the politics of the US as well. We're dealing with a president who is very keen to show to his fan base, the MAGA fan base, that
yes,
he is the leader in the world trying to resolve problems. So it is the politics of the US that perhaps has led US President to comment like this, but
yes,
India has made it clear it is a bilateral issue.
No, definitely. And as far as Trump is concerned, he's been trying very hard to bring Russia and Ukraine on the same table. That has not happened since. So any kind of pat on his own back, using trade as a tool of leverage to get two sides which are in conflict to reach a ceasefire, that he wants on his side. That's very clear from what has come out. But also very quickly, the reports which are now, or the sources which are now at least suggesting that 20% of Pakistan's Air Force's infrastructure, and some fighter jets were destroyed in India strikes. 20%, Siddhant, that's 1/5. It's a major blow to any country which has an air force or a fleet of fighter jets. Your thoughts?
Well, of course, this is a significant report which is coming, but we know that so far Pakistani side hasn't been very forthcoming in terms of coming out with the damages. We saw the confirmation yesterday, the Pakistani side finally admitting that 11 of their military personnel lost after India retaliated to Pakistani attacks. But we know that Pakistan has a history of hiding its losses, and this was very well evident during the Kargil war as well. And this time around also it will be very well evident as well. So essentially, we'll get to know the truth. Truth is expected to come out in some form or another. But all in all, we know that Pakistan has suffered major losses in Indian retaliatory strikes.
Thanks, Siddhant, for getting us the latest. Siddhant Sibal, our Assistant Editor for Foreign Affairs.